I'm Scotty D from Harpeth Guitar, and this is a Martin tenor guitar, 1960, serial number 173530. I can barely tune it because these tuners are so stiff. I'm going to put on some Grovers, and I'm going to install a K&K twin internal mandolin pickup. We'll have to enlarge the end block to about a 1/2 inch hole. Another thing that I might do, but I haven't decided yet, is plug the saddle slot with a new piece of rosewood and reroute it because it's in the wrong place. It's too far forward on the bass side by almost 1/8 of an inch, and the intonation is, the only string that's in tune is the high E string. I'll decide about that though as we go. Let's get started. Well, I decided. Not only did the Saddle-matic show me that the saddle was 1/8 of an inch too far forward, but the guitar tuner showed me that 3 out of the 4 strings were 20 cents sharp. So we're going to have to pull this thing out, plug it, and re-slot it. While that's warming up, let me show you this Ferk guitar that landed flat on its face. The soundboard came loose from the rim, and it accidentally popped off when I tried to push it all back together. So this one's coming together pretty good. I'm going to show you a picture of the result. I'll show you a picture of the final product. It came out real nice. Also, another one I'm thinking about doing a video on here is the Stanley Clarke autograph. Yes, the great Stanley Clarke is still out there touring, and my customer got his autograph on a 71 P bass, and he wants me to spray some lacquer over top of it to preserve it, and what a treat. So sometimes if you warm these up for 10-15 minutes, it'll get hot enough that you can pull it out. They're glued in. As always, with a through saddle, they're glued in. First time, didn't even wiggle a skosh. Second time, it's starting to pop loose a little on the bass side, and I got a little hot water underneath it on the bass side and put it under the heat lamp again for the third time, and it looks like the third time's a charm. Now this is my Madagascar rosewood saddle plug. I'm going to shape it roughly so it fits into the old saddle slot snug. I'll glue this into place with some yellow wood glue. Just a little bit of glue. I cleaned it out first with some acetone. To dry out some of those oils in the rosewood and make it thirsty for something wet. I'll just clean out some of the glue, squeeze out, and then I'll put a few clamps on it. I'll let it set for 4 to 6 hours. Pull the clamps off, and we'll work on the headstock for a little bit. We'll see if we can get these new tuners installed. Looks like the inside diameter of the old bushings is too small, so we'll have to press those out and replace them with the ones that came with the new Grovers. While I'm polishing up this Martin headstock, let me show you the final outcome of the Ferk guitar. Came out great. I had to do finish repairs too with Glue Boost. And you know this poly finish that they put on those things, the Glue Boost, is a great way to touch it up. Although it does leave some witness lines. I guess in the future, if he stops breaking his guitar, we could refinish the whole thing someday, if that day ever comes. Like so many times, as you see on my channel, the old bridge has some string ramps cut into it by a previous owner, and now that the saddle is going to be so much closer to the pinhole, we don't need those ramps, and they'll actually cause an excessive amount of brake angle over the saddle. So I'll fill it in with a little bit of that Madagascar rosewood dust and Stumac number 10 thin CA glue. I'll do this before I start any of the sanding process to make the saddle plug flush with the bridge. Now this bridge is most likely Brazilian rosewood, our favorite rosewood of all. Why was Brazilian rosewood preferred by all these mills? Well, it's beautiful. It was kind of cheap. It cuts wonderfully. It doesn't resist shaping. It's a pleasure to work with because it smells nice, kind of sweet, floral, but a little waxy. I've only really cut it once or twice now. There's some old stock floating around. You can buy it on Stumac now. I don't know if it'll be available forever, but they have a little right now. Or they did a couple months ago. I got a little piece. I'll use rasps, planers, files. Here's my little planer. And I'll use sandpaper and files, probably 120 through 600 grit. I cut my thumb on that planer blade somehow. Baby was sharp. So sharp I didn't feel it cut me. I just saw red stuff on the edge of it and I was like, what the hell? Anyways, clean that up with a little naphtha. And I'll show you, I can color in the plug so it blends in better with the surrounding wood. I've got a little trick. Actually, I'm sure you all have a few dark brown markers in your drawer. Just draw on a little grain lines, make it blend in. And then once we cut the slot, be completely invisible. I'll cut the slot with the help from the Stumac saddle slotting jig. I'll clamp that down to the soundboard. and I'll get my Bosch Colt router. I'll install the 3/32 upcut bit from StewMac. I'll use the saddle-matic to determine the front edge of the new saddle slot. I'll just draw it in on the tape. All right, this is the 3/32 bit in my Bosch Colt router. I want to make the first cut, and I'll go 1 millimeter deep. I'm going for a total of 3 millimeters total depth. So I'll make 3 passes. I just did this a few weeks ago on a 1966 LGO that got a new bridge installed. If you haven't seen that video, go back. It was pretty much the same as this, except it was a different guitar from a different factory. But a lot of the details are the same with cutting a saddle. I'll move it down 1 millimeter. And you'll see a vacuum back there, helping keep things clean. And there's the 3/32 saddle slot. It's a through saddle slot, so it goes all the way through. And you can see the plug right now, but watch what I'm going to do here. We're going to use Mohawk Perfect Brown. This is a brush tip marker. All right, so actually the original saddle's still going to work. Just going to reshape it slightly. I had to use a little bit of the Starbond white CA glue. There was a little chip on the end of the wing of the saddle, and I wanted to make it look nice, so I Starbonded it. Now I'll use this knob puller to pull the end pin, and a piece of tape to prevent tear out as I drill for the new 1/2-inch hole. I'll use various stepped bits. This bit was one I saw Bo Hannum using in an Instagram video, and I said, gotta get me one of those. That looks like it cuts real nice. And it does. I found mine on AliExpress. Now this longer one is the StewMac reamer, and that's like 5 times more expensive than that little guy, but I think that little guy might actually cut better. I'm just so used to using this, I was afraid of using that TPO on a vintage guitar like this. I'll also chamfer the outer edge of it. That'll totally prevent tear out. And then we'll get the K&K twin internal. I'll show you a view from the outside and inside. There was not enough room in front of the bridge pinhole, or the pinholes for the transducers, so I had to put them behind. Well, the tuner showed those 3 strings to be sharp still, so I'll move the saddle point all the way back. Actually, I'll put it all the way back for the G. I'll leave it in the middle for the D, all the way back on the A, and all the way forward for the E. Now I'll use the micro mesh pads to polish it up. Make it shiny and clean. I'll glue it in with fish glue and a toothpick. K&K's working good. And the tuners, very good. Intonation, awesome. So now got good tuners, intonation, and a pickup installed. You got to go out and see the Arcadian Wild. Hopefully Lincoln Mick will be playing this on stage.